Good afternoon and welcome to this Wednesday Rambling. Again, on Wednesdays I look at the message for next weekend. This weekend will be the 6th Sunday of Easter, and it's the final week of this message series. We've been looking at truths that underlie and underpin our Catholic tradition. Things such as the gift of the Holy Spirit, which is central to who we are and the story of our lives. The way in which community and belonging to community and participating in community is an essential part of what we're called to be. Of doing God's will and not living in the way of the world makes an incredible difference in how we live and what that means to us. So this weekend we're actually picking up a couple of those concerns, some of those truths. The first is that when we are called to be community, we're going to face some challenges, and we see that especially in the first reading from the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 15, which tells us of the First Council of Jerusalem, where an issue that concerned how much or what kind of response non-Christians or non-Jews needed to make before they could be accepted in the Christian community. Those of a Jewish tradition were saying they had to be fully initiated as Jews before they could become Christians. And so the council occurs, and we hear the outcome of the council with James writing to them and telling them, these are the things you need to do. You don't need to have everything else. These 4 things are what is important. The other point that comes through in the readings today is that, again, picking up the notion from last weekend where we heard Jesus' command to love God and to love one another. This call to be faithful people, but people who know that the power of the Spirit is actually and absolutely essential to how we live and work. If we don't have the Spirit working in us, then sadly our efforts are going to be, they might be successful in some ways, they might be evidence of God's presence in some ways, but they do not have the power of God working through them. We can be nice people, and that's important, but the more important thing is to allow God's Spirit to move in us, and that truly does make an incredible difference. So this weekend I hope that you'll have a chance to ponder on these questions about what does it mean to belong to a community, and what does it mean to belong to a community that is moved by God's Holy Spirit, and what a difference those gifts can make in our lives, and what a difference they can make in the lives of others. As Eugene Peterson wrote in his book The Message, we're called to live generously and graciously towards others as God lives towards us, and that truly, my friends, is how we can make a difference. God bless you. Look forward to catching you next time on my Wednesday Rambling.